Hi everybody, John Bonner with Great Lakes Growers here. Hope you're well. We decided to put together a multi-part video series just to show you a little bit more about what we do, how we do it, why it's safe for you. Hope you enjoy. So here at Great Lakes Growers, everything's grown in water, or in other words, we're growing hydroponically. And what that means is that instead of using dirt as our media, we're using water as our media. And that's a good thing. And it's a good thing for a few reasons. One, when we put nutrition into soil, if you think of a traditional field, you're going to sprinkle that fertilizer around the field, and the farmer's going to till it up into the land. And then hopefully, if you did a real good job approximating the right amount of fertilizer and doing a good job tilling it in, you'll have a perfect crop if the weather's right and everything's great. The good thing about hydroponics is water is a better media to disperse fertilizer. It's more even. Like if you drop a drop of soap in water, it will disperse evenly into the water eventually. So that's great, but the other important thing is you got to keep the water clean, right? We're recycling all the water here at Great Lakes Growers, which is great for the environment, but as we recycle the water, we got to make sure we're cleaning it. Not only that, the water that's coming in is coming in from the ground. So we got to make sure that everything coming in from the ground is sanitized so there's no risk of bacteria or things like that. You know, bad things that we hear about in the news every Thanksgiving, it seems like. So we have a 4-step process here at Great Lakes Growers. The first step when the water comes in from the ground, again, we're using well water, is we have a lot of iron in our water. So we have a process where we're pulling the iron out similar to a softener in your home, home system. The second step in our process is carbon filtration. So we run the water through carbons, activated carbon, and it pulls any bacteria or strains any bacteria out of the water. After that, we go through another step, which is called UV sanitation. And UV is simply UV light. We're running the water through a UV light chamber where the UV is contacting, the entire stream of water. If there's any bacteria in that water, it's going to kill the bacteria. Finally, we're taking that water and running through a reverse osmosis process. And what reverse osmosis does is it's taking anything else out of the water, any salts, any sodium, anything that's in there. So basically, when we're done, we're starting with a quality of water that you could put in a bottle and sell at a gas station. So as I mentioned before, we recycle 100% of the water here at Great Lakes Growers. The only water that doesn't come back through and get recycled is the water the plants use. Interestingly, plants at Great Lakes Growers use about 10,000 gallons of water per acre per day through transpiration back into the atmosphere. Anything else is recaptured, recycled, and reused. So we got to be careful when we recycle water that we make sure that water is just as clean as the water that we started with. So we've got a pretty intensive process for that too. So first that water comes back and it could have picked up algae or particulate matter or little bits of soil or whatever. So that water goes through a cloth filter and we're taking any particulate matter out. So that water is going back into the tank with no bits and pieces in, we'll call it. Now, the more important part is we got to make sure there's no bacteria in the water. Bacteria is where when we hear things about Listeria or E. coli or Salmonella, all these bad things, that's bacteria. So we use what's a process called ozone to do that. Now, ozone, if you think of O2 as oxygen, ozone is O3. And that third particle of O takes any bacteria that's in the water and obliterates it. So if we monitor the level of ozone in the water at all times, then we can be certain that there's no bacteria in the water at all times. And what that means for you is that there's no bacteria in the water that's feeding the lettuce that you eat. So we eliminate the risk of foodborne illness from that step in the facility. So in conclusion, we've kind of got a pre-treatment process here at Great Lakes Growers, and we've got a post-treatment or recycled treatment of water. And the purpose of both treatments is to eliminate the risk of bacteria in the water. And what that means for you is the lettuce that you buy from us does not contain the risk of Salmonella, Listeria, or E. coli.